Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'm pleased to support the Government's amendment in today's debate, and I welcome the range of anti-poverty measures that it highlights. As the Head of Education Services in Glasgow City Council, Jerry Lyons, told the Education Committee on the 4th of May, the Scottish Government's focus on poverty did not start with the Attainment Challenge. The Attainment Challenge allows even greater focus to be put on this policy priority. Over this parliamentary term, the challenge will be supported by £1 billion worth of investment, an increase of £250 million over the last parliamentary term. And the refresh announced by the Cabinet Secretary included this increase in investment. It also included a change in the challenge's mission to acknowledge that poverty cannot and should not only be tackled during school hours. Increases in the school uniform grant, the expansion of free school meals, the Scottish Child Payment, all of these policies link into the work of the Attainment Challenge. The Challenge refresh also sees a change to the distribution of funding. As Emma Cosgrove of the Fraser of Allender Institute told the Education Committee, it is incredibly difficult for a diverse country with different needs in different parts of the country to agree on what the best approach is. The decision to use the funding model based on the children in low-income families data will deliver challenge funding to every local authority in Scotland, including the 9 original challenge authorities. This move was welcomed by COSLA and council leaders across the country. The Cabinet Secretary has also delivered a tapered reduction in the year-on-year funding to the 9 authorities, already in receipt of it, to enable them to manage their resources. As Ruth Binks, Director of Education in Inverclyde Council, told the Education Committee, the local authorities in receipt of the challenge funding knew that it was not guaranteed year-on-year, and they were regularly challenged on planning on their exit strategy. As Ruth said to the committee, there is poverty throughout Scotland, so a revision to the original funding method was merited. I think it was a fair thing to do. I will take an intervention quickly.
I thank the member for taking the intervention. Would the member acknowledge that any cut to Glasgow City Council's funding for support to children who are living in poverty is an unacceptable thing to do?
Kaukab Stewart.
We heard from the committee, from head teachers and from the West Partnership that, of course, any kind of cut requires being looked at. However, they realised that in order for it to be fairly distributed across all local authorities, then they were, they accepted this. I do welcome the opportunity Labour has given to the Parliament to reflect on the many ways in which the Scottish Government is delivering funding to reduce the attainment gap, the length and breadth of Scotland, and I thank my colleagues behind me for mentioning some of those, so I won't go over them again. So this government is clearly serious about reducing the attainment gap, and I have to say that I am shocked that Labour endlessly choose to align themselves with the Tories in attacking it when it's taking sustained, meaningful action on this hugely important issue. And I'm just about to finish off by saying that the Education Committee has taken extensive evidence from teachers and school leaders, and I would like to pay tribute to all of those people that have worked incredibly hard, and actually quite a few of them put on record the support that they had got from the Scottish Government in being able to do their jobs. So I think that when the opposition benches try to do down education, they are doing our children and our educators a disservice, and they need to bring that to an end and support practical measures. Thank you, Presiding Officer.